Hey, what's up, y'all? We just realized that
we ran out of tape.
we ran out of space and we were still talking. We checked the last
This will be part 2 of Freedom Stars.
Deadbeat Fathers.
And then the date is
Today is November 15th, Saturday, 2025. Yeah, so the last thing that we realized we were talking about was
part 2.
Yeah, this is part 2 of Deadbeat Fathers. My father was found slumped over in front of the dope house. So I told
to the hospital.
Yeah, and we're gonna catch up with, cause we were still talking and we didn't realize that we weren't recording. Yeah, so I was like, take him to the hospital, and my brother Ace, all of us was on the phone through. It was a 3-way call. He had us on speakerphone, so he was slurring, and that's when we realized that he was waking up or whatever the case may have been. And my brother Ace was telling him, no, let him go. He gonna get up on his own.
Before that, you went through it. You was going through it because you thought he died.
Yeah, I thought he was dead. Cause I asked my cousin, I'm like, is he breathing? Check his nose, check his pulse. I thought he was dead. And like I said, that was from 3 months of his income accumulating from him being locked up. So it gets to the point we got a lot to catch up on because we said a lot, huh? Okay, so I'm gonna try to make this fast, y'all, because we did not know all that time we was talking, we were not recording. This happened before.
Yeah.
This happened to us before. But okay, so
that took you somewhere because you were really thinking that he had passed.
Yeah.
And then when you found out that he was just comatose with drugs, that's when you was like, tell him take him to the hospital.
To the hospital, yeah. So it got to the point where I'm gonna hit fast forward, y'all, and y'all might hear me talk about some of this stuff in another show, because chronologically I'm not gonna remember everything we talked about. So yeah, it gets to the point of where he burned all of the bridges that he had down there. His sister Rita had already schooled me on the type of person he was, and if I hadn't said it in part 1, the 3 months he was in jail, his ex-wife Teresa, who they might be remarried again, I don't know, she schooled me on him. She said he's a liar, a scammer. She just told me so many bad things about him.
People even if they're dead.
Yeah, she said he'll lie on you and say bad things about you even if you dead. She said he cannot come stay with her because he gonna have holes in her house, and Thomas, she'll snatch her wig off and take her teeth out, and she ready to fight. But yeah, she said so many bad things about him to the point that I just got fed up with hearing a lot of bad stuff about my father. But she was schooling me, and I kind of pushed off on her because she was just, every time I talked to her, she had that, oh, your grandma didn't let him marry your mom because your grandma knew he was a piece of shit. Your grandma knew this and that. She told me so many bad things about him, and she was actually, sharing her pain of the stuff that she went through with him.
And bless Miss Rosa, because she was right.
Yeah, and thanks to my grandma, because if my grandma would have let him marry my mom, I probably wouldn't be sitting here right now.
And we already know that wasn't going to happen.
I'll probably be strung out on drugs.
She was too much of a real woman, and that is so far, they don't make them like that no more.
Yeah. So yeah, if we hadn't disclosed, no, we didn't say that in this one because it had stopped recording. So from that point, we would conversate, and I was keeping in contact with him, and he eventually burned all of his bridges down there. He had no money.
But that's also when he started getting to the word he was in the hospital or whatever. You already knew about the drug stuff. You had said, okay, you're not gonna let that go through with the idea of him coming here.
Mm-hmm.
You want to take your name off of everything, and your brother was like screaming on the phone.
Yeah, and that was crazy. Yeah, because like I said in
I was with the VA up there.
Yeah,
in Florida.
We have been keeping in contact about things because he burned all of his bridges. He exhausted all of his funds. He had just nothing, just existing. So we were gonna help him here. So we called the VA to find out everything that needed to be done. So once I got this call one night from my aunt, his sister Rita, and she was like, oh, your father and them, they out there in the woods getting high and drunk. And she was like, call him. She said, either, I'm looking at that red dot now. She said, when you call him, either he's not going to answer his phone. If he do answer his phone, he going to say, let him call me back. He answered his phone when I called. I could hear drugs, alcohol, just bad spiritual energy. He said, let me call you back, just like she said. I was like, I ain't finna have nothing to do with this man. You know what I'm saying? I'm done. I told him that, and I left it at that. When I called the VA in Atlanta, anything where my name was involved with him, you know, coming here, I told him to remove my name because I waited for the perfect opportunity. He called because he was in the hospital, and then my brother Ace was on the phone, then I was on the phone. I said, since y'all on the phone, hold on 1 minute. I switched over, called the VA, so now it was a 4-way call. I got them on the phone. I'm like, this is, you know, Steve Osborne. Remove my name from everything affiliated, you know, with my father. With Al Thompson. My father failed me. My brother's on the phone shouting at me at the top of his lungs, telling me to hang up the phone. You know what I'm saying? Hang up the effing phone. I'm talking about he just getting just going to the top of his vocals. And I'm like, me not wanting to be affiliated with him in the Veterans Affairs, you know, administration, him being in Atlanta, this is me dictating my life. Me hanging up the phone is y'all strong arming me, telling me how it's gonna be. How can that be that way when y'all have somewhere for him to be, but y'all not allowing him to be there with y'all?
Because he didn't have enough money.
Yeah, he didn't have enough money is what it was, because when you hit the fast forward button, all of the days that I took him to the VA, every appointment, never missed one appointment. It had to be at least 50 visits, y'all, between VA, specialists, doctors, just labs.
2.5, 3 months straight.
Yeah.
Every day.
Every day. And these days will range from 8 to 10 hours. So you're talking about mileage on the vehicle. You're talking about
wear
gas.
And tear on the vehicle.
Wear and tear. Yeah, just all of that.
And all that, yeah.
And he wasn't getting a lot of money like that. So when he moved here, I had to explain to him, because he spent over $1,000 on fishing gear and equipment to go fishing. And I'm like, wait, you know, you don't live with us for free. We got, you know, all the bills that we have, you know, you like a roommate. So his money that he was getting during that time, when that money will run out, we had to, you know, do what we needed to do to keep things going, because you got a person eating food. Every appointment that you get taken to, that's gas money. Some of these appointments will be 100 miles of driving.
Not to
round
mention,
trip.
Doing all that stuff, we took the time out to take him fishing. An hour and a half driving out, and an hour and a half driving. Not to mention,
and that one place was 2 hours.
Around,
when we went to Red Top, that was 2 hours each way.
Not to mention an hour or so driving around, and 2 or 3 hours we sat there fishing.
Yeah. And I don't know, to me it's selfish and it's inconsiderate for a person to have a fixation in their mind that all of these things have been taken, you know, that are taking place, but you're not considering all of the logistics. Like taking you somewhere 2 hours out, that's gas. Coming back in, that's more gas. You know, that's money.
And then just driving around, we went from one spot to another spot.
Yeah, he just wanted to drive to random spots, and he was very inconsiderate. That's why I said he failed me with a capital F.
Almost to sundown.
Yeah, and the part that get me, his sister broke down the person that he is. She explained him thoroughly. While he was living with her, he would be giving his money. She's witnessed him give $500 to some person, random female he met online. She's witnessed him give $200. She's witnessed him give $100. And she got on him about that. And she said his response to her was that it's just money. He ain't have it like that. You know what I'm saying? So to hit fast forward on things. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna include the part where she'd say he would tell her if somebody knocks on the door, it's for him. Mind you, he been passing her address out to females online. I told her that's dangerous. I'm like, I hope you got a gun, because, you know, somebody can come in there and kill all of y'all. He just random people. And when people do that, you don't even know if that's really a female you're talking to. It could be a big grand setup. You know what I'm saying? So that's the type of person he is. You know, he has failed me. He's the definition of deadbeat. If you open the dictionary, they need to have his picture right there with the word. Hitting fast forward, one day he pulled me to the side and asked me, can I send some female, can I cash out her $85 because she on his way to see him? a flash went through my head, like my mind got blurry because I'm like, I didn't believe the words that he had just said to me. So still in my calm energy, I had to make sure that, you know, the energy was not good. So I'm like, you know, we don't live that way. We don't have random people coming to our residence. You never see that. You know what I'm saying? So my brother Ace got involved, and the way he is, he basically worships the ground that my father walks on. He's the youngest, and he's the one that my father shaped, and he shaped him in a bad way. He shaped him in a really bad way, and that's a whole nother show. But he was an unfit father, and the results of how my youngest brother turned out, it speaks all of that. But at the same time, he loves him because that's his dad, you know. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's just crazy, and the story goes on, and I feel like this is the most I've ever talked in any of our shows. But let's get off of him for a minute. We can talk about other random unfit fathers so that you can have some talk time.
Well, I've had experience in that level in my life. My father, I
apologize for talking so much. That was a lot.
That's recently happened. That's in the past.
It's been 4 months. He left 2 months. He left Georgia 2 months ago.
We were in it 4 months ago.
You can say that, yeah.
So yeah, that's
what you were saying
fresh.
Though? But,
my dad, he kind of like borderline. He was in my life, and he had the money to do things, but he didn't. So I had to step in as a child. I had to come up out of a child to become a young man and step up to help my family. And I had other siblings that was older than me that wasn't responsible. So I was more responsible as a teenager, as a young teenager, than they were as an older teenager. So I paid bills, and I brought food in the house, and I kept firewood in the house, keep the house warm.
So would you label him a deadbeat?
I would say I said borderline. He was borderline because he was he made the money. And this was in the early 70s. He made the money for us to be in middle class, but we didn't live like we were in middle class. Mm-hmm. But everybody thought that everybody thought that we were like middle class people, but he had the income, but we wasn't living like that. Our household wasn't like that. But yeah, I've also seen my brother-in-law definitely was a deadbeat dad, because my family took care of my nephew. My nephew was like a brother. He grew up with us. He grew up with his uncles, like he was a brother. Like he was more of an Upson than he was his father's last name. Yeah, I witnessed a lot of deadbeat dads coming up. I've also witnessed a lot of good dads coming up. A lot of kids that had good fathers and just didn't even know it. They were just asshole kids. They were always getting into stuff, and then they were living in nice houses, but they tried to do what they saw the lower class kids.
And they don't even know they living their life. Yeah.
And then when I came here to Atlanta, and I was in my 30s, and this kid that I roommated with him and his brother, these kids that would come and hang around him. It was raining one day, and I was off of work that day, and I went to take, because they was going to walk in the rain. So I told him, I said, get your friends in the car, get your friends together. I said, I'll take them home. Gets into my car, and I'm driving from our apartment, because I'm roommating with them. I drove to this, I'll say, and this was in the like 95, 96. This had to be a $450,000 house.
Wow.
And this kid, I'm telling you, I had to roll, even though it was raining, I had to crack the windows. He did not wash his ass. I was like, you would have thought that he was like in a ran down, one of the worst Atlanta apartment complex, like what's it called, Bowling Homes?
Yeah.
He was in a nice Stone Mountain home. Mm. And I was like, when I drove up to the house, it was a big house, and when they offered us to come in, and I'm walking with him, you open the doors, marble floor,
Wow.
His mom's was going off with him because she wasn't home for 2 days.
Wow.
And so he missed school for 2 days because he'd been just out in the streets.
Wow.
And I'm like,
That's crazy. And he had the life.
And he's living.
But he wasn't there.
He's trying to act like he's a thug. You know how he's. If you listen
What
to him
that be
talk,
about, man?
I have no
That's
idea.
Crazy.
But I was telling my cousin, I was telling the kid, the Sim, I was telling him, I said, you don't need to hang around them. I said, those type of kids would get you in trouble because they'll try to act harder than you are and do the most dumbest things to get y'all all in trouble. And then they'll come to find out that they're the ones that be responsible. They'll point everything at you because you live in an apartment complex.
That's crazy.
And they'll make it look like, you were the big influence and they wasn't. And it was like 3 of them. And they lived right down the street from each other.
That's crazy.
I could not believe it. And then when I saw their parents, I was like, they need to do better.
That's
so
crazy.
it's obvious that they didn't, even this was, like I said, almost, 20 years ago? They had no control. They had no telling what those kids are today. Or what type of people they are today.
If they're alive.
If they're alive,
got themselves in trouble, got him.
Died taking drugs. What was that, Molly's and stuff.
And yeah, what's that new fentanyl and stuff?
Yeah, that's in everything. But it's another. I don't even know what.
What was that? You heard the ding?
Yeah, that was one.
Okay, it's just making sure.
That was. I don't know. That's not even sure. Okay. So whatever that is, that's the thing I'm talking about. I know Molly's was the one big street drug. After that, I didn't hear anything else about what the next street drugs was because I guess the generation, the eras that when new things come out, the people that we were around kind of like got older, so the next generation didn't come around us to know what the next drug or whatever everybody talking about on the street. So now I'm hearing there's a lot of things going on with weed. A lot of guys are just getting really crazy with smoking weed, and I think it's the street weed. It's not the dispensary weed. It's all this is street weed everybody's talking about. So they're talking about calling everything gas. So everything is just the street weed. It's not the like when we was in Washington and California. It's not the dispensary weed. It's the street weed. But they're also saying that now that their Chinese people are doing something with weed.
I heard that. Yeah.
And I think that's all the street weed. I don't know. I didn't think I heard anything about dispensaries.
Yeah, hopefully not dispensary because
most dispensaries they grow their own. They don't buy outsourced weed. It's they grow their own and they got their own farms. So that's what a good thing was with the dispensaries.
Excuse me. Yeah.
But yeah, I would never, if I was to ever smoke weed again, it would never ever be no street weed. So no matter how many people come to me talking about, oh, it's legal here. You only it's a misdemeanor. I said, well then it's not legal. If it's a misdemeanor, so too many you get too many misdemeanors, it's gonna be a big
Yeah,
you're still going to jail. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it's not legal. If it's legal, you won't get arrested for anything. Not only that, the people that's in jail for marijuana offenses, they get expunged and get thrown away, kicked out of court. And Atlanta, Georgia is not about to do that with as many Afro Americans they got in jail for marijuana. The biggest one I heard was a big thing that was going on when I first moved here in '93. It was a Afro American that got arrested for marijuana, and it was a murder case going on. The murderer got 6 years. The guy that got arrested for marijuana got 25 years.
Wow.
And that was in '93. Wow. He got 25 years. The murderer got 6 years. And they only had to do, what, 3?
What, that good behavior thing happened?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Everybody, that was one of the big topics they were talking about. And then there was that big thing with the rebel flag. They were talking about, a lot of people saying that was heritage. That's their heritage and all that.
I don't know much about how all of that go, but I know I've seen some Afro-American natives that stand for the flag too. So I don't know how. I have to research and study that.
Some people have Some people had
Because I don't know, when I see it, I think slavery.
Yeah.
My mind, I don't know.
The Confederate Army.
I don't know the whole
kind of
history of all that. Yeah, but
you had Afro Americans fighting in that Civil War too. There was Afro Americans fighting in that Civil War.
Because I done seen some videos of older men that, like, you know, they stand, you know, with their flag.
Because that was a fight between the North and the South.
Yeah.
And we know it was only over the slaves, because the North was mad because they had the factories and whatnot, and the South had the slaves. So the factory, they was making more money with the slaves, with the cotton.
Which is messed up. Yeah.
And the North was upset because the South was making more money than they were for their slaves. So they were like, okay, so they need to get rid of the slaves.
You think the South is richer than the North?
At that time it was. I don't know if it balanced out, but
you know why I asked you that? Because New York is expensive as heck.
It is.
But then it's expensive in Georgia too. But New York is like,
because Georgia is trying to compete with New York. That's why they train systems here is the exact same amount if you was to go to New York.
Yeah, we talked about that in the podcast. Yeah, we talked about that in the show too. Yeah,
but that's the thing with the South and the North. There's always been a competition thing.
Yeah.
There's always been a competition thing with the North and the South. But the South would never, they'll never get rid of that stigma that it has for slavery. And even though they try their best to try to change the wording, they done changed it from saying slaves as sharecroppers in the books, the textbooks now. You hear the kids talking about it because they don't know. You know, if you're ashamed about something and you're trying to disguise or change, why don't you do something about it? Why don't you give reparations? Because they did it to they did it for the Jews, and the Jews was over. That happened over in Germany. America didn't have anything to do with the slave camps. That was Germany. That was the Germans.
And see, that's another reason why I think
America paid them reparations. And that was like I think that was either in the late 80s or the early 90s, somewhere around there. America paid the Jews reparations. That's since I've been alive. Wow. And it's been an ongoing thing talking about reparations for Afro Americans. And we were slaves here in America. Our great grandfathers were slaves here in America. It's not asking for no handout. You didn't give them their reparations. So give their great grandkids their reparations. You're embarrassed by slavery, and you're trying to abolish it by changing. But the worst thing they did was every year, you would see this. You see all those photos of hanged Afro Americans, burning Afro Americans, and then in their own legal system, all of those people were accessories to a crime. And they photographed it. And nothing was done to any of those people. If they didn't commit the crime, they was accessory because they were there. They know who did the crimes. So nobody's ever mentioned that. And they got documents. They got documented pictures and
with
photos.
Names, probably. Yeah, it's crazy.
That they know the people that were standing in those pictures. And nobody did anything or said anything about it.
And see, blending that with how we talking about deadbeat fathers, I think that's another reason why kids need their fathers in their lives to help them explain the system to them, explain the history of what their father went through, you know, to help shape the kids to be stronger.
You have a lot of European, you have a lot of American Europeans that was completely against it, and even against their parents. That when their parents was racist. They were against their parents.
Would you consider those deadbeat fathers the racist Anglo men that you know were slave owners and then they shaped their children after that?
Oh,
I think I would consider those deadbeat fathers as well.
That's the worst kind. And I also think that also slavery. I think that brought about all this crime, the serial killers, and because there were actually no laws against killing Afro Americans.
We just came up with another form of deadbeat that just because a father is not only a father that's not in the child's life, you can have a father in their child's life doing them a disservice brainwashing them in a bad way. That's a deadbeat dad as
influencing them
well.
the wrong way, showing them the wrong way to live.
Yeah.
It's the wrong way to be a productive
Because
citizen.
I would have to say, any man that's making slavery a legitimate thing in the eyes of his child, that's a deadbeat father.
Yeah, and making them look at another human being as less than.
As less than them, yeah.
Yeah.
That's you hear. That
They set a really bad narrative of a person, another human being, by making their child live their life like they're better than that person and that generation.
That's amazing how that touched that area. Yeah,
that's something that's really that goes really beyond a deadbeat, because you're ruining that person's life. You're ruining that person's perspective of life.
Yeah, I think any father that's been in their child life doing them a disservice, I think that that's a deadbeat father. But I think it's only affiliated with fathers that's not in the picture. But I think if they in the picture and doing the wrong thing,
you need to be out of the picture.
Yeah. Because like I was saying, with my father, he wasn't in the picture with me, so he's deadbeat that way. But with my brother Ace, he was in the picture with him, but he shaped him. He shaped him, but not good.
Yeah.
He shaped him not good at all. So that's a disservice.
The way he look at drugs and
that's a disservice.
If you can point a weapon at somebody out of anger, and you can't put your hands up, that's the worst. That's the worst thing you can do, is just get into a fist fight over an argument.
Because them used to be the old days. Remember, people used to fight. Yeah.
If you can't solve it by disputing or debating a person, and then you got to use your hands, that's the worst. But when you had to pull a weapon out, that means that you need to be off the streets. Because if you can get your hands on a weapon and you feel a certain way about something, you're going to use a weapon instead of your hands in a situation that doesn't even require that extreme measures. So that you're not a capable person to be having a weapon in your hand at all. You should have access to a weapon. If you're the type of person that loses your temper, and that's your first reaction is to get a weapon.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
And you're really afraid, because if you wouldn't have that, you wasn't that afraid of that person or that situation, you would not reach for a gun. Yeah. If you was that bad and that Billy badass, you will be throwing your hands.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why a lot of guys think that shows macho by grabbing a gun, because it doesn't. That shows that you was afraid.
And I used to think my
fear.
dad.
More people shoot people out of fear.
I used to think my dad was macho, but once he came around us, he got.
If you're not protecting yourself,
weak ways.
Yeah. If you're not protecting yourself or protecting your loved ones with a weapon, self-defense. Yeah. No man should pull a gun on another man, especially an unarmed man, if you're just afraid.
And then, when you think about that, if this specific person is a father, you know what I'm saying? You gotta have yourself shaped in a way so that your sons, can follow you as a guideline, and then your daughters can know what type of man they want in their life. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's
you don't want that type of person.
That deadbeat father thing just it transcends.
It's different levels. Yeah,
it's crazy. It's just crazy. It's like
it's a different layers.
Like a disease.
Yeah, it's layers of it's layers. It's layers.
That is just crazy. Because when you think about it, when you have a deadbeat dad, more than likely, I'm not saying in every case, but more than likely sons will end up being deadbeat dads in some form or another. Not saying that they won't be in their child life, because you could be in your child life still doing the wrong thing. Yeah. Them sons didn't have a responsible, righteous man to show them the way, so they got to figure it out as they go along. And they got to act like everything is okay with what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? So they don't seem like they're in the wrong. So it's crazy. But it keep going. And what were you saying about that?
Yeah, that's pretty much. I was saying that, I think I said the last thing I said was there's layers.
Yeah.
There's layers of dysfunction, being dysfunctional.
Dysfunctional, that was the word you said, yeah. It's crazy. But man, before y'all have these babies now, because we in 2025, so people got to think more.
Be more responsive.
Yeah, because as time goes on, I think living life in this new system is becoming more complicated. The prices of everything is going up. So it's like there needs to be responsible parents these days more than
because
ever.
the cost to raise a child is going up too.
Yeah.
That child health and clothes and food. Yeah.
And I understand
Education.
sometimes a mother and a father, you know, the two people that get together to have the child, it don't work out. But I still think something has to be worked out to where both of them parents can be in them children, you know, them children's lives, because usually it's more than one child.
Even if they're not under the same roof, they still both have to be in that child's life, especially if it's a male or a female.
It's crazy.
But most boys really need they're both parents more. You don't hear much with girls. You don't hear, you know, all the problems that's going on right now is not coming from the girls.
I think the girls got their level of problems, because if a female has her father not there, she's going to suffer from some kind of ramifications too.
But the biggest problem we're having is
we hear more of the boys.
Yeah, these boys killing each other. We don't hear girls. You have these wild girls too getting in fights and everything.
And then I think a lot of the girls are whores these days, because it's like you didn't have that man to show you the type of man you need. So I think they just randomly just get with a lot of guys. So I think the violence level went up with the females, but definitely the sexuality went up with females just having. You might have a female with kids from 5 different men. You know what I'm saying? I think that part went up. I think women. I think the females value themselves less.
Both of those are destructive.
Yeah, they value themselves less, you know.
Both of those are destructive.
Because they don't know what a good man is.
Yeah, they're both kids need both parents in their life.
Yeah, they value themselves way less. And I think the type of dude the females get with is, they might see a certain image on TV, like, oh, he look hard, or, you know, I like what he got on, or he cute, or, you know.
From the movies and the videos.
Yeah, unrealistic things, yeah. So it's just, but I think a upright father is very important, because as the Christians know, the father's supposed to be the head of the family.
And the female, and the mothers.
And the mother, we're going to have our show on Deadbeat Moms.
Yeah, the mothers need to be women, not females.
Yeah.
They need to be women, they need to be ladies.
Yeah. So we're going to have that show too for y'all. And and sorry we had to give y'all this show in 2 increments, because we had this happen before, man.
But we caught it and we rectified it. So we also did the time that we needed to do.
We did. Okay. Yeah, so we need to do a part 2, part 3 continuation, because it was a lot of stuff that got said when we didn't know we were recording and we didn't say everything.
But still catch us on the next Freedom Star After Dark.
Yep. And we will see you guys. I got to cue the music, as y'all know. But
like, share, subscribe, and comment. And hit that notification. Thanks for all the cash apps and the donations. Love you guys.
Yep. And for the straight people out there, when y'all make these kids, man, y'all gotta see these kids too. And that's why I think gay people come in handy, because a lot of gay people can go and dust up behind straight people mess. Because a lot of gay people adopt kids, you know. You got a lot of good gay parents out there in the world. And that's the balance with the universe, you know, for people that have a problem with gay people, you know, there's a balance there. Until then, though, y'all.
Peace and love.
We'll see y'all when we see y'all. Enjoy life.
Boy, let's take this shit to the next level. Ready for that close-up, Mr. Let's go. Elegance, magnificence, stupendous, wonderful, super fluidity. This cup running over. Stand still, snap, pose, Kodak, Sony, got you. Look at them wishing they were you. Standing ovation, panoramic view. This runway, sparks up flame, no name brands. We came, we here, standing chill, bringing value to whatever we wear. Whether it's clothes, paper, plastic, be the shit. Model boy represent. This is first and 10. Strictly for the house. Yes, keep taking over. Let them run that mile. When we're done, the show is over. This is an introduction. Yes, it is up for discussion. Reconstruction, demolition. They see, and now they wanna touch. Model boy, let's rock this. Give them fever, pose, bitch. Stand straight. Let's take this model shit to the next level. Model boy, serving pleasure, make them feel it. It's forever. Don't need no name brands. Bitch, we are the name. Tatted up, hair matted up, doodoo locks, hair platted up. I'm addicted to realness, so fabulous. Some can't handle it. Rocking all 4 seasons, there is no reason for a reason. This all comes naturally. shifting to try. Ego amped up, no reason to hide. So vamped up on the ramp up. Evil Knievel, let's jump. We so goddamn flammable. They swinging from our flames. Heaven eat, butterfly collars, bell bottom, no contradiction. Wrong way, got them stuck. Boldness flawless. What the fuck? We reckless, running this. They clueless. We used to this. Blazes of fire, here it is. Original passion, feel it, action. Model boy, let's rock this. Give them leave a whole bitch. Stand up straight. Let's take this model shit to the next level. Model boy, service pleasure, make them feel it. It's whatever, don't need no name brand. Bitch, we are the name. Walk, 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 walk. High definition. Fierce, fierce, radiant, cutthroat, cutthroat. Model boy, mom after me, never feel me. Feel this comes so damn easy. Model boy, rock, give me fever, rock, old soul. Model boy,
That's a good song. He like it. Alright, y'all. We will see y'all same time, same place.
Peace.
Thank y'all for tuning in to Freedom Stars. That be my cue, boss. Alright, y'all.